Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever looked around and felt like you were standing alone in a crowded world, like everyone else had their circle, their people, their tribe, and you were on the outside looking in? Maybe you've asked yourself, why don't I have friends? What's wrong with me? Let me tell you something, there's nothing wrong with you. You were created to connect, to love, and to be loved. But sometimes life places us in a season of solitude, and that solitude can feel like a prison. Connection is one of the most profound needs of the human soul. From the very beginning of life, we are hardwired to seek closeness with others. A smile from a stranger, a kind word from a friend, or a shared laugh can transform a moment, a day, or even a life. Yet in today's fast-paced digital world, it's easy to overlook the importance of genuine face-to-face relationships. We can have thousands of followers online and still feel completely alone. The truth is, the connections that truly matter aren't measured by likes or comments, but by the depth of understanding and trust shared between hearts. Human beings thrive when they feel seen, valued, and loved. Connection provides a sense of belonging, a reminder that we're not walking this journey alone. When we share our joys, they multiply. When we share our burdens, they lighten. A kindred spirit to celebrate with, a shoulder to lean on, or simply someone to sit quietly beside us during tough times is often the difference between despair and hope. But connection is not just an emotional luxury, it's a necessity for our overall well-being. Studies have shown that people with strong, supportive relationships live longer, healthier lives. It lowers stress, strengthens our immune systems, and boosts our mental health. When we feel connected to others, we're more likely to approach life with optimism and resilience. We're reminded that no matter how heavy the storm, there's someone who will stand by our side, holding an umbrella. Yet, connection isn't just about what we receive, it's about what we give. When we choose to invest in others, whether it's a kind word, a thoughtful gesture, or simply our time, we create a ripple effect of love and kindness. This act of giving not only deepens our relationships, but also brings fulfillment and purpose to our lives. There's something extraordinary about knowing that we can make a difference in someone else's world, no matter how small. At its core, connection is about vulnerability. It requires us to open our hearts, to let down our walls, and to say, here I am, imperfections and all, it's not always easy. Sometimes we're afraid of being judged, hurt, or misunderstood. But when we take that risk, we discover the beauty of authentic relationships. We find people who accept us as we are, who celebrate our victories and stand by us in our struggles. Connection also reminds us that we're part of something greater. Whether it's a family, a friendship, or a community, we draw strength and inspiration from knowing we belong to a larger story. It fuels our sense of purpose and gives us the courage to face challenges with hope. In a world that often prioritizes independence and self-sufficiency, it's essential to remember that no one was meant to go it alone. Connection is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to our humanity. It's a bridge that brings us closer to others, and in doing so, helps us discover the best version of ourselves. Loneliness and solitude are two experiences often confused, but they are vastly different in essence and impact. Loneliness is the ache of feeling disconnected, a void where connection should be. It whispers lies, telling you that no one sees you, no one values you, and no one cares. It's the feeling of being surrounded by people yet feeling invisible. On the other hand, solitude is the quiet strength of being alone without feeling alone. It's a space where stillness allows self-reflection, growth, and renewal. Loneliness can weigh heavily on the heart, making even the brightest days feel dim. It often stems from a gap between the relationships we desire and the ones we have. It can be triggered by physical separation, emotional distance, or even the absence of someone who truly understands. When loneliness takes hold, it creates a sense of emptiness, a longing for connection that feels just out of reach. This feeling doesn't only affect our emotional well-being, it can have profound effects on our physical health, increasing stress, weakening the immune system, and leading to feelings of despair. Solitude, however, offers something entirely different. It's not about the absence of people, but the presence of peace. It's a deliberate choice to step away from the noise of the world and tune in to the rhythm of your soul. Solitude provides clarity, allowing you to listen to your own thoughts without interruption. It's in solitude that you can rediscover your passions, reflect on your goals, and connect with your innermost self. Unlike loneliness, which drains, solitude rejuvenates. It is not a void, but a sanctuary. The difference between loneliness and solitude lies largely in perspective and intention. Loneliness is often passive. It happens to us when circumstances, emotions, or relationships fall short. Solitude, however, is active. It is a choice to embrace time alone as an opportunity rather than a punishment. In solitude, you can find freedom from external pressures and the space to cultivate your inner world. Still, there are times when loneliness can transform into solitude if approached with the right mindset. When you shift your focus from what is lacking to what is present, you can begin to see time alone as a gift. It becomes a chance to heal, to reset, and to prepare yourself for deeper connections with others. Solitude doesn't diminish the need for relationships, it enhances your ability to engage in them. Both loneliness and solitude are universal experiences. At some point, everyone faces moments of isolation. What matters is how we respond. Loneliness may feel like a dark room, but solitude is the light switch. It allows you to illuminate your heart and mind, helping you see that even in the quietest moments, you are not truly alone. Life's richest connections often begin when you've taken the time to connect deeply with yourself. Isolation doesn't happen overnight. It's often the result of a slow and quiet buildup of experiences, choices, and circumstances that create distance between us and the world around us. The roots of isolation can run deep, intertwining through various aspects of our lives, often unnoticed until the loneliness becomes overwhelming. It's essential to understand these roots, not to dwell on them, but to uncover the pathways back to connection and community. One common root of isolation is fear. Fear of rejection, fear of vulnerability, or fear of judgment can cause people to retreat into themselves. When someone has been hurt by relationships in the past, they may build walls instead of bridges, thinking it's safer to protect their heart than risk being hurt again. These walls, however, don't just keep pain out, they also keep love and connection at bay. Over time, the fear that was meant to safeguard can become a barrier that imprisons. Another root is busyness, a more modern but equally significant cause of isolation. Life's demands, careers, responsibilities, and endless to-do lists can leave little room for meaningful relationships. People often find themselves so consumed by their schedules that they unintentionally neglect the connections that sustain them. Technology, though designed to bring us closer, can sometimes deepen the divide. Hours spent scrolling through social media can create an illusion of connection, while the absence of real face-to-face interactions leaves a person feeling more alone than ever. Pain and trauma also play a significant role in fostering isolation. When someone experiences a loss, a betrayal, or a period of great suffering, the natural instinct can be to withdraw. It's a way of coping, a way of protecting oneself from further harm. But isolation, while it may feel safe in the short term, often magnifies the pain it's meant to ease. It creates an echo chamber where negative thoughts and emotions grow louder, reinforcing feelings of separation and loneliness. Low self-worth can also drive isolation. When someone believes they are unworthy of love or companionship, they may pull away from others, thinking they are sparing themselves and others from disappointment. These feelings of inadequacy can create a self-fulfilling cycle where the more they isolate, the more they believe their own negative perceptions. Societal factors, too, contribute to isolation. In a world that often prizes independence and self-reliance, admitting the need for connection can feel like a weakness. Cultural norms, stigma around mental health, or even physical barriers such as living in remote areas can exacerbate the sense of separation. Isolation can feel like a dark and endless tunnel, but understanding its roots offers hope. It reminds us that isolation is not a permanent state, but a condition that can be addressed. By identifying the underlying causes, whether fear, pain, busyness, or self-doubt, we can begin to break free from its hold and move toward the connections we were always meant to have. Self-reflection and responsibility are two powerful tools for personal growth and transformation, especially when it comes to building meaningful relationships and overcoming isolation. To understand where we are in life and why, we must first be willing to look inward. Self-reflection is the practice of pausing to examine our thoughts, actions, and behaviors with honesty and humility. It requires courage to face the parts of ourselves that may be contributing to our struggles, but in doing so, we open the door to change and growth. When relationships falter or when isolation takes hold, it's natural to point fingers at external factors. We might blame others for misunderstanding us, the world for being too harsh, or circumstances for creating barriers. While these factors may hold some truth, they don't tell the whole story. Self-reflection asks us to step back and ask, what role have I played? This question isn't about assigning blame to ourselves, it's about taking ownership of our actions and choices. It's recognizing that while we can't control everything, we do have the power to influence our responses and decisions moving forward. Responsibility is the next step in this journey. Once we've identified areas where our attitudes or behaviors may have contributed to disconnection, we must take action to address them. Perhaps we've been quick to judge others, unwilling to forgive, or hesitant to open up and be vulnerable. Taking responsibility means acknowledging these patterns and committing to change, not out of guilt, but out of a desire to grow and build stronger connections. Self-reflection also helps us identify our needs and desires in relationships. Sometimes we isolate ourselves because we haven't taken the time to understand what we truly want from others or what we're willing to give in return. By reflecting on our values, boundaries, and expectations, we gain clarity about what a healthy, fulfilling connection looks like for us. This understanding enables us to approach relationships with authenticity and intention, fostering deeper and more meaningful bonds. Another aspect of responsibility is recognizing the impact of our behavior on others. Our words and actions, even when unintentional, can create ripples in the lives of those around us. When we take the time to reflect on how we treat others, whether we've been dismissive, unkind, or neglectful, we have the opportunity to make amends and rebuild trust. Taking responsibility isn't about dwelling on mistakes, but about learning from them and striving to do better. Through self-reflection, we also uncover strengths and qualities we may not have fully appreciated. Perhaps we're more compassionate, resilient, or resourceful than we've given ourselves credit for. Embracing these strengths empowers us to step into relationships with confidence, knowing we have something valuable to offer. Responsibility then becomes less of a burden and more of a privilege, the chance to contribute to our own well-being and the well-being of those we care about. When we commit to self-reflection and responsibility, we unlock the potential for genuine connection, personal growth, and a life enriched by meaningful relationships. The power of one small step often goes unnoticed in a world that celebrates grand gestures and monumental achievements. Yet it is those seemingly insignificant actions that often spark the greatest transformations. Whether it's mending a broken relationship, building a new friendship, or stepping out of isolation, every journey begins with just one small, deliberate step. Taking that step can feel daunting. When you're stuck in a place of loneliness or fear, the thought of change may seem overwhelming. You might believe that the gap between where you are and where you want to be is too wide to cross. But the truth is, you don't have to leap across that gap all at once. Change doesn't require perfection or instant success. It only requires courage to start. A single step forward, no matter how small, shifts your perspective and sets the wheels of progress in motion. One small step could be as simple as smiling at a stranger, sending a text to an old friend, or joining a group that shares your interests. It might feel insignificant in the moment, but these actions carry the power to create connection. A smile can break the ice, a message can rekindle a bond, and showing up can open the door to a world of new opportunities. It's not about the size of the action, but the intention behind it. Small steps are also essential because they build momentum. Taking that first action makes the second one easier, and before you know it, you've created a ripple effect of positive change. Perhaps you attend one event and meet someone who becomes a lifelong friend, or you make one phone call and discover an opportunity that transforms your life. These moments don't happen by chance, they happen because you were willing to take that first step, no matter how uncomfortable it felt. One small step also has the power to combat fear and self-doubt. Often, the biggest obstacle to connection and growth is the belief that we're not good enough or that our efforts won't make a difference. But when you take even the smallest action, you challenge that narrative. You prove to yourself that you're capable of trying, of moving forward, of reaching out. With every step, your confidence grows and the barriers that once seemed insurmountable begin to crumble. There's also beauty in the fact that small steps don't demand perfection. You don't have to have all the answers or know exactly what to do. All that's required is a willingness to try, to show up as you are. These steps may feel awkward or imperfect, but they're infused with authenticity and intention, and that's what matters most. One small step has the power to change not only your own life, but also the lives of those around you. A single act of kindness, courage, or connection can create ripples that extend far beyond what you can see. In taking that step, you not only move closer to the relationships and life you desire, but also inspire others to do the same. Hope and redemption and friendship remind us that no matter how broken, distant, or strained a relationship may seem, the possibility of renewal is always within reach. Friendships, like all meaningful connections, are built on a foundation of trust, care, and shared experiences. Yet, they are not immune to the trials of life. Misunderstandings, unmet expectations, and personal struggles can cause even the closest bonds to falter. However, the beauty of friendship lies in its resilience, the ability to heal, grow, and thrive even after seasons of difficulty. Hope is the cornerstone of redemption in friendship. It's the belief that reconciliation is possible, even when circumstances feel bleak. Hope allows us to see beyond the hurt and disappointment to the potential for restoration. It's what gives us the courage to reach out, to forgive, and to take the first step toward mending a fractured connection. Hope whispers that the story isn't over, that there's still time to rewrite the narrative and create something even stronger than before. Redemption in friendship often begins with vulnerability. It requires honesty, acknowledging the pain, admitting mistakes, and expressing a genuine desire to make things right. This level of openness can feel risky, especially when trust has been damaged, but it's also what makes healing possible. When we approach a friend with humility and sincerity, we create space for understanding and forgiveness to take root. Redemption isn't about erasing the past, but about learning from it and moving forward with greater intention and care. Forgiveness plays a vital role in the process. It's a gift we give not only to the other person, but also to ourselves. Holding on to grudges or bitterness can weigh heavily on the heart, preventing us from fully experiencing the joy and love that friendship offers. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning hurtful actions or forgetting the lessons learned. It means choosing to let go of resentment and allowing the possibility of a new chapter. It's a powerful act of grace that paves the way for redemption. Hope and redemption in friendship are not limited to repairing old relationships. They also extend to new beginnings. If past friendships have left scars, it's easy to feel hesitant or guarded about forming new connections. But hope reminds us that every person is unique and every friendship has the potential to bring light into our lives. Redemption in this sense is about reclaiming the belief that we are worthy of love and companionship, regardless of what has happened before. Friendships are dynamic, evolving over time as people grow and change. The journey isn't always smooth, but the possibility of redemption is what makes them enduring and worthwhile. Hope fuels the determination to keep trying, and redemption transforms challenges into opportunities for deeper understanding and connection. In the end, friendship is not about perfection, but about persistence, grace, and the shared belief that love and connection are always worth fighting for. In the journey of life, friendships are not just a luxury, they are a necessity. They provide love, support, and joy, anchoring us during storms and celebrating with us during victories. Yet life's challenges, fear, pain, busyness, or self-doubt can sometimes cause us to feel isolated and alone. But the beauty of human connection is that it's never too late to rebuild, to reconnect, or to start anew. Loneliness doesn't have to define us. Solitude can be a time of growth. Self-reflection can reveal areas where we can change, and responsibility empowers us to take steps toward healing and connection. The smallest actions, a smile, a text, a moment of vulnerability, carry the power to transform not just our lives, but the lives of those around us. Hope and redemption remind us that relationships are worth the effort, no matter how distant they may seem. Every bond has the potential for renewal, and every person deserves the gift of friendship. So let us embrace the courage to take one small step, the strength to reflect on ourselves, and the faith to believe that brighter, more connected days are ahead. You were created to connect, to love, and to be loved. Step out of isolation, into the light of possibility, and experience the richness of life through the power of friendship. Because no one was meant to walk this journey alone.